In the bustling city of Larkspur, a young woman named Clara lived a seemingly perfect life. She had a promising career at a prestigious law firm, a loving boyfriend named Jack, and a supportive family. Clara was known for her integrity and honesty, values instilled in her by her parents. However, she faced a difficult situation that tested her principles like never before. One day, Clara stumbled upon a troubling discovery at work. While reviewing financial records for a high-profile case, she noticed discrepancies indicating that one of the senior partners, Mr. Thompson, was embezzling funds. The firm had a stellar reputation, and exposing such a scandal could lead to severe consequences for everyone involved. Clara was torn. If she reported the fraud, it could ruin her career and the firm's reputation. On the other hand, staying silent would compromise her integrity and allow the corruption to continue. After days of sleepless nights and internal conflict, Clara decided to confide in Jack. "Jack, I don't know what to do," Clara said, her voice trembling. "If I report this, I could lose everything I've worked for. But I can't just ignore it." Jack took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Clara, I know this is hard, but you have to do what's right. You've always stood for honesty. Trust that it will lead to a positive outcome, even if it doesn't seem like it now." Bolstered by Jack's support, Clara made the difficult decision to report the discrepancies to the firm's internal audit team. As expected, the news caused an uproar. Mr. Thompson was placed on leave pending an investigation, and Clara faced scrutiny from her colleagues. Days turned into weeks as the investigation unfolded. Clara's colleagues treated her with a mix of suspicion and admiration. Several employees mocked Clara. They accused her of being a liar, attempting to take Mr. Thompson's position. Clara could feel the weight of their eyes on her every time she walked into the office. Whispers followed her down the hallway, low enough to be almost inaudible but just loud enough to sting. Her colleagues, some of whom she had known for years, cast doubt upon her intentions without a second thought. At first, she tried to brush it off. "They'll understand," she told herself. "Eventually, they'll see that I did what was necessary." But the days wore on, and instead of fading, the rumors grew louder. Some accused her of ambition, claiming she had reported Mr. Thompson's conduct to make herself look better or to edge closer to a promotion. Others sneered, suggesting she was trying to take advantage of his absence, lining herself up to replace him. Clara wished she could explain, could show them the full picture, but she was bound by confidentiality. She had reported Mr. Thompson not out of malice or ambition but because she believed in protecting the integrity of the company. She had witnessed firsthand the strain his decisions placed on her team, the shortcuts he'd taken, the way he played fast and loose with the rules, all under the guise of efficiency. Clara knew she couldn't ignore the risks he was taking, not with the livelihoods of her colleagues hanging in the balance. But as the days passed, Clara's strength began to waver. The weight of her choice pressed heavily on her, and she could feel it chipping away at her confidence. She missed the camaraderie she'd once shared with her co-workers, the laughter over lunch, the quick conversations by the coffee machine. Now, there was only silence, interrupted by glances that held a mix of judgment and disdain. One particularly difficult afternoon, Clara found herself in the break room, lost in thought as she stirred her coffee. She heard footsteps behind her and turned to see Mia, her closest friend at the company. But Mia's smile was gone, replaced by an expression Clara could only interpret as disappointment. "I thought you were better than this," Mia murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. Clara felt her heart drop. "Mia, it's not what you think. I had to." But Mia shook her head, holding up a hand. "Everyone has their reasons, Clara. I just never thought you'd be the one to throw someone under the bus." Clara watched her walk away, the hurt settling deep in her chest. This was the cost of doing what she believed was right, a cost that, at times, felt unbearably high. Her mental and emotional health began to deteriorate. At night, she would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by the faces of her colleagues and the way they had slowly transformed from friends into strangers. Still, she knew she couldn't undo her decision, nor would she if given the chance. Her resolve was tested each day, but Clara knew her actions were not for personal gain but for the well-being of everyone in the company. Despite her exhaustion and the creeping isolation, she held on to that truth, a small but fierce flame that kept her going. In the midst of her struggles, she found an unexpected ally, David, a senior manager in another department. One evening, as Clara was packing up her things, he approached her, his expression kind but reserved. "I heard what happened with Mr. Thompson," he said quietly, glancing around to ensure no one else was listening. "For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing." Clara looked up, surprised, and saw a glimmer of empathy in his eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. I wasn't sure anyone felt that way." David nodded. "It takes a lot of courage to stand up for what's right, especially when no one else can see the bigger picture. Don't let them make you doubt yourself." His words lifted a weight she hadn't realized she was carrying. For the first time in weeks, Clara felt a sense of validation. She wasn't alone, and though she still had a hard road ahead, knowing that someone saw her actions for what they were renewed her strength. The following days were still difficult, but now, whenever she felt herself faltering, she remembered David's words. Little by little, she found solace in the knowledge that while many people might never understand her reasons, some would. And that small but powerful reminder gave her the resilience to face the shadows that had once threatened to consume her. The stress took a toll on her, but she remained steadfast in her belief that she had done the right thing. One morning, Clara received a call from the managing partner, Ms. Reynolds, asking her to come to the office immediately. With a knot in her stomach, Clara complied, bracing herself for the worst. "Clara," Ms. Reynolds began, her expression serious, "the investigation has concluded. Your findings were accurate, and Mr. Thompson has been terminated. We owe you a debt of gratitude for your bravery and integrity." Clara felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Thank you, Ms. Reynolds. I just did what I believed was right." Ms. Reynolds smiled warmly. "Your actions not only saved the firm from potential ruin but also reinforced the importance of honesty and ethical behavior within our team. As a result, we've decided to promote you to senior associate. We need leaders like you." Clara's eyes widened in disbelief. I don't know what to say. "Thank you." As Clara left Ms. Reynolds' office, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had risked everything to uphold her values, and, in the end, her honesty led to a positive outcome. The firm implemented stricter controls to prevent future misconduct, and Clara's colleagues began to see her as a role model for integrity. Clara's decision also had a ripple effect beyond her professional life. Her parents expressed their pride in her actions, reinforcing the values they had taught her. Jack's unwavering support strengthened their relationship, and they began to talk about their future together. Reflecting on her journey, Clara realized that honesty, even in the most difficult situations, truly had the power to transform lives. It had brought justice to her workplace, strengthened her relationships, and solidified her own sense of self-worth.